I should do it. Basically, I wrote a market report. I gave several references from other dealers who knew me very well, and they could say, oh, he's not some random kid. He actually knows what he's talking about. And
Did they give you a test or a quiz or anything? Did you have to, I mean, did they anything like that?
They asked me to write a market report, and I did. And I can actually show you. I wrote a market report on the market, basically, and they didn't tell me they were going to publish it. They just said write a market report, and then I showed it to them, and they said it looked good. So they published it.
Wow, this is very cool.
And they put me as collector by mistake, which I was a little annoyed about. But yeah, I was kind of annoyed, but I was happy enough I was in the guide.
There it is. Your name is in there too. That's very cool. So what did you want to be known as? Not collector, but what?
Dealer.
But dealer.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And you were a dealer at that
yes.
time? How long have you been dealing?
I've been dealing, I'd say seriously, since 2000 and I want to say 15. 2016. Probably 2015. I mean, I've been very, very serious since 2016, but
I've been dealing
since the last few years. I've been dealing, but I've been collecting and buying and selling here and there for a lot of years now, since 2011.
So around 15, 16 years old, and then you got into this thing pretty heavy there.
Yeah.
All right, very interesting. Wow, this is you're an interesting kid. You really are. This is really good stuff here. We're really
Thanks.
amazed here. Okay, this next one here, the Ninja Turtles. Well, that's a $100 value.
Yeah.
Why? What's the deal? Can I just show this one?
Yeah, sure.
Here?
Sure.
Okay, Ninja Turtle 1. And who puts this out? What company? I mean, this is like Marvel, got DC.
Yeah,
what company is
that's
this?
by Mirage Studios.
Okay.
That's the first appearance of the Ninja Turtles, but it's the third printing, which means that they went through the first round of printing, which I'll tell you the story of the Ninja Turtles comic book. There was these two guys named Kevin Eastman, you can see right there, and Peter Laird. So it's Eastman and Laird's
Eastman
Ninja.
and Laird, okay.
Yeah. I actually had the privilege of meeting Kevin Eastman at a convention, but
okay.
And they put out at a convention back in 1984. They put out their first printing at a convention, and there were 3,000 copies. They all sold at the convention.
All right.
So if you wanted to get a first printing, you had to be at that convention originally.
Okay, how does one tell if they got a first, second, or third? If do they say it on there somewhere?
It says on the inside front cover, and the first and second printing are bigger. And also, you can tell by the letters in like T in turtles. There's a certain structure to the blood on the turtles.
Really? Okay, this is amazing stuff. You're like a forensic.
Yeah, the third printing is smaller. The first printing and second printing are much bigger.
Okay, they do that on purpose so you can tell the difference? Or
it's just how it happened.
Just how it happened?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. When they do a first printing, is there usually a limited number they will do on a first printing? I mean, well, the first no more than 3,000, more than 10,000?
They just printed how many copies they thought they would sell. They went off the shelves.
Well, like this one here, how many printings you figure went out of this?
If I had to guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how does
probably 500,000, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how
they printed a lot of them because Spider-Man was already in a acclaimed series that people loved back then.
But yet still worth 400, even though there's like so many out there.
Yeah,
possibly.
I'm just guessing how many are out there. I wouldn't know, because I don't have access to the print records.
No, I don't know. That's pretty. I don't even know how they decide how many they're going to print of that issue there and stuff like that. Okay, and let's get to the last one you have here on the board. I know you got more in there, but this is Superboy.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Superboy.
What makes this issue...
I'm always afraid to handle these things.
Well, they're fine. They're in plastic. They're in plastic.
I don't know. Hey, oh, wait, this says something here. No centerfold. What does that mean?
A centerfold is the inside 2 pages of a book.
Okay.
So this, some kid, back in the day, this goes back to comic culture, back in the day, kids would take pages out of books and they'd glue them together. They would cut out pages, cut out coupons, and mail them in. Forget all that cool stuff.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The X-ray glasses.
X-ray glasses, or the shrunken heads, or all that stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. So is it hard to find one with the centerfold in there?
No, it's not. That book was just a cheap copy that someone who's looking to own a Superboy 68 could afford one more easily.
Gotcha. All right. This was
because if it has a centerfold, it'd be worth like double the price.
Would this be a $400 comic book?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Probably more.
Okay. So when you're going to sell your comic books and stuff, how do you do it? People contact you on the internet? Do you actually go to the conventions itself and set up a stand?
I'd say both. If people are looking to sell to me, or if I'm looking to sell to them.
Right. Now, you go to Comic-Con this week?
Yes.
Is it to do business, or are you going there just for fun?
I'm going there for business, basically.
For business, basically business.
Yeah,
you
business.
care less about all the other stuff that's going on.
Oh, I love to do that stuff, but I put business as a priority because I can always do the fun stuff at another con. I always like to get autographs when there's something I really want to do. I make sure I get that done.
Okay, so you have your own little stand out there, your own little
I'm not set up at New York Comic Con this year.
Okay.
But what I do is I walk around and I do trading with other dealers at a wholesale rate.
So you're gonna be carrying these in your knapsack or something
Right.
like
Yeah.
that?
Exactly.
Right,
Protect you with the combination lock on there.
Okay.
Right.
And then they trade and deal with you right then and there.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I have somewhat of a status with the dealers, so I'm not exactly I'm not exactly an everyday customer who's going to say, well, I got to make a profit and everything. I mean, I'm well known, so it's like they're not gonna have to say I need as much margin because they know me. They know I have to make margin too. So if I can make my margins, they can make their margins. They're fine.
Gotcha. So they go high, you go low, or vice versa.
Right.
You meet somewhere in the middle.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Have you come to a standstill where you just couldn't make a deal? You just didn't think it was
just walk
right?
away. It's okay. We'll make a deal some other time.
Everybody's cool. There's no hard feelings on nothing.
Right. Exactly.
Cool. Let me ask you: is this what you plan on doing, like for the rest of your life, or you got another interest, or?
This is basically what I plan for a while. I mean, this is what I've done ever since I've really been passionate about something. I've really just done this, and I think I'll do this for a long time.
Okay. Now, have you ever thought of creating your own comic book? I mean,
yeah, I actually did.
Did you really?
Years ago, I attended a pre-college program where I actually I can actually show you. I have a pre-college ID on me.
Okay.
Right.
This is a.
Yeah, right here. This is for when I had longer hair. But
SVA. What's SVA?
School of Visual Arts.
Okay, gotcha.
That's where a lot of the famous people who drew and worked on comics went. So.
Okay.
So I originally was doing this, and I wanted to draw stuff, but I figured it's so competitive, it's so tough. I'm much better at this. Why not just do this?
Right. Okay. But you actually tried doing your own comic book.
Yes, I was decent, but
so what kind of character was it that you created?
I drew this gorilla that was kind of like King Kong, but he was a little more scientific. He was more like a robot gorilla. I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay.
But I just wasn't as pro as some of the other kids.
So you drew it and you came up with the story and everything?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Now did you go and try and I don't know, did you go to
Marvel
or any of these other companies?
I didn't go to Marvel or DC. It was more of like an underground comic where,
okay.
For those people who don't know out there, it's more, an underground comic is a comic that's published, more like you print it yourself.
Right.
So it's like one of those things where you just print it yourself, you make it yourself. It's more of like do-it-yourself kind of thing.
Gotcha. So how many copies did you make of it? Or
I went to Staples and I just printed like 50 or 100 copies.
All right, excellent.
So I wasn't as advanced in this, so I wanted to pursue that interest. But I felt...
Interesting.
But
okay.
So
we have a caller. Yes, who are we talking to?
Hello?
Yes, how are you there? Who are we talking to? Hello?
Hi, my name is Stephanie.
Yes, definitely. Listen, if you have your TV on, maybe that's a problem there. You got to turn it off or turn the sound down because there's like a delay of like a few seconds.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. I just want to make sure you can hear us okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well, what can we do for you? I want to thank you for calling in. How can we help you?
Hi. I'm not, I really don't know what the show is about. I just happen to be passing through the TV and I see you. I have a tub full of my deceased brother's comic books, all types.
Okay, so what, you want to know if they're like worth anything or the value?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, how does an average person go to find out that? That's a good question. She has a whole bunch of comic books, a whole tub of them.
A very tub full. I can't even tell you how many is in there. There are.
How does she go about finding out what's worth anything, or how does she just
So basically what I would do is if I was in that situation is I would first just take them out, take out a few of them, maybe take out top 10 or 20. I'd say about 20 comic books that you see in the stack, and just look at the cover price. Look at how much they cost originally back in the day. Like if you see that it says 10 cents, you'll know that your comics are basically from 1960 or before. If you see that it says 25 cents, I don't have an example here, you'll know that your comics are from the mid 70s. If you see or it's a giant square bound edition, like I see right there,
Okay.
Like that's a giant, but generally speaking, 25% cover prices are from the mid-70s.
Okay, now she sees that. Where does she go from there? She's got the prices on there. She's got the range. How does she find out now what the value is?
So basically, I actually provide an appraisal service.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do, and I can actually I price so many comics every day. I can just tell her I'm very experienced. I deal with this 24/7.
Okay, and there are other places to do this?
Yeah, sure,
like
yes.
online and stuff like
Yeah.
that? So I guess that's what you have to do. You'd have to kind of maybe do a little research on it there. Check out your comic books, and you can see an appraiser, or I guess look it up online.
Yeah,
or something like
eBay
that.
is a good option, but also remember what people are asking is not necessarily what they're worth, because you can ask $1 million, you can ask $1. It's what they're selling for is really what matters.
Gotcha. Okay, did that help you out there?
Yeah, I think I have an idea.
All right, thank you very much for calling in. I appreciate it.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our gentleman right here, thank you very much for the call. I appreciate it. Okay, how do you buy a comic if you can't take it out of the plastic to inspect it? Good question. And how do you do that? It's already in plastic. You don't want to touch it. You don't want to devalue it. How do you know, like, it's not like just empty papers in it? I mean, you want to look at it, right?
Well, you have to be able to take it out of the plastic.
Oh, so you do look at it?
Yeah, you do take it out of the plastic.
But you just got to do it carefully,
Yeah,
right?
you want to show how to take it out of the plastic?
Well, we got instruction how to take it out of plastic. Pay attention there. Very good. Good question there.
So you got to first take off the tape.
Okay.
Taking off the tape is very, very, very important.
Yeah, I don't even like that they have tape. Why can't they do it without tape on it? I know what you mean.
If you don't do the tape, it really it can get inside the book. Because I happen to double bag this comic.
Okay.
I happen to put it in double plastic so that it would look nicer. It would present nicely. But you always have to take the tape off of the bags and boards.
Yeah, just curious, how many comic books you have in your house?
Lord only knows.
1,000? 500?
Probably 12,000.
Do you have a and they're all cataloged and everything?
I have a lot of stuff that's cataloged and I have a lot of stuff that's not.
Okay, now you have a room just for this?
My room.
And I guess mom and dad's cool with this. I guess.
Mom isn't, dad is.
Okay, gotcha.
Right? Yeah, it's like you basically take it out, you just read, you hold it in your hand, you basically make a fan like this.
Okay, all right.
You got a fan in your hand, and you can, if you ever want a page count, which means you want to count how many pages are in the book, because back in the day, people used to cut out pages.
I know, yeah.
So you want to make sure that they're all there. So you can just you can fan through.
Gotcha.
You just fan through like that.
Okay, so that's how you know you're not getting beat on the deal.
Right, exactly. And also, if you want another way to do it is to basically, and then you first have to fan it all the way. You can go like that. And then once you have the back cover all the way down with no pages there, you just count slowly. Got it.
You just got to do it real easy, right? Because you don't want to fray the pages. You don't want to do anything like that.
We got 1.
Gotcha.
2, 3, 4, and so on.
Is there a standard number of pages in a comic book now?
Yeah,
there is. One time I thought there was, but what is it now?
There is. It depends on the certain era that you're talking about, but most Silver Age comics are 8 and 8. So the centerfold, which is two staples in the middle, is the dividing line. So there'll be 7 pages, centerfold, and then 7 pages, which makes a total of 16 pages, and they're each double-sided.
Okay.
Each page is double-sided, so that basically is it. But
that includes the advertising pages and everything, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Golden Age comics were much bigger back in the day.
You know, I hear that a lot. Golden Age, Silver Age, I guess what, Bronze Age?
Bronze Age, Copper, Modern.
When did this come about as to when the age started? Like Golden Age is from when to when?
Golden Age is from 1937 to 1955.
Okay, now when did they decide to change? You know what, Golden Age is over, now we're in the Silver. When did this become how did this happen?
It was just a collecting term. It was really, people wanted to isolate and really put how different comics how they should be separated. I mean, there's also the Atom Age, which is the 50s era comics.
Okay. So what are we in now? What age?
We're in the modern age.
Just the modern age. So what's after this? Future age?
Future age, I guess. I don't know. Who knows? They didn't make it yet.
The word modern now, because modern is going to be going on.
Right, there's modern art, there's new art. Right, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. The Middle Age? Yeah,
Middle Age.
The Middle Age, yeah.
I mean, there was gold, there was silver, there's bronze.
Right, gotcha.
Right,
okay, interesting here. All right, I just brought a couple of my. I had
sure.
I had enough
Sure.
of my own. I don't have maybe more than 1,500. I don't know what I got. I just kind of picked randomly
Right.
last minute before I came to the
Right.
show. Now this one I thought might be something. This is the first appearance of
Gibbon.
the Gibbon.
Right, Gibbon.
Now the reason why this is special, my friend Louie, who I grew up with in junior high, where I don't know, the English teacher was asking about something, and the word Gibbon came up. The only one who knew it was my friend Louie, because he read comic books. And because he read comic books, he knew what a Gibbon was. At the time, we were like 11, 12, 13, nobody knew what a Gibbon. He knew because of the Spider-Man comic book.
Right, nice.
I acquired this. Apparently, it's a 20-cent comic. It's got any value?
Yeah,
It does.
it does.
Can I retire this week?
No. Sorry.
So what are we talking here? What are we talking out here?
So can I grade it?
Sure. Well, you know what
So
you're doing.
grading
sure.
is basically defining the condition in a numerical sense. So I don't know if we discussed earlier, comics are on a scale of 1 to 10, I recall. So I would grade this comic. I'm not going to do a page count right now because I'm assuming it's complete,
Yeah.
which is how I usually do.
Right.
I usually consider everything is complete, assume. But it's got a little chip out right here, as you can see.
Okay.
Got a
all right.
little creasing.
Gotcha. All right.
I mean, I would grade this comic like a 6.5, 6.0 out of 10.
Which means what? Now, what can I get?
I'd say selling this in a retail setting, New York Comic Con.
How much?
I'd say $20.
$20.
Yeah,
That's from a dealer or a private person?
that's if you're selling it as a dealer.
As a dealer.
Right.
If I okay, so a private person would give me $20
No, I'm saying if you were selling it
to a dealer,
to a customer.
to a customer. Right. Okay, that's what I'm
Right,
saying. So a
yeah,
regular
yeah,
person,
yeah.
a regular private
Right.
person. Just curious, you want to get an idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
97 Avengers.
Right, that's a good one.
Good one, right?
Yeah.
Good one. Value, man. I got something here.
Danielle.
This could be my last show. Okay, what do we got there? What is that there?
Let's see. Cover detached.
Oh, because see, cover is detached. All right.
Not attached.
What is that, knock it down like $1?
Eh.
Oh, man. Covers
Yeah, that's like a 3.5, I'd say. Maybe a 4.0.
Okay.
He's got the subscription crease because back in the day they used to fold the comics.
Right.
Put them in the
Okay.
back pocket.
Gotcha.
I'd say this is around the same.
Another $20 deal?
Yeah, about, yeah.
Okay.
It was in perfect condition?
And yeah, that's a good question. Perfect condition would be what then?
It wouldn't exist.
What do you mean it
It
wouldn't,
wouldn't exist. 10 condition comics don't exist.
Okay, what if it was like it was a 9 or an
A
8?
9, I'd say probably around $40.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Maybe
even,
$50, yeah.
so even a much better condition is just doubling the like the 40. I don't know,
Right.
like
I mean,
$100.
yeah, I mean, most comics, when you get within the range of anywhere from a 2 to an 8, or I'd say maybe a 2 to a 6, but rather, they get, the values are somewhat, what's the word, proportional.
Okay.
So a 3 is half of a 6.
All right, guys.